Well, my doctor has informed me that he's changing a component of my medicines, the sleeping component. Now, I'm very suspicious, and in fact God has informed me that it is a lethal medicine. It is a lethal drug, and the word lethal in your dictionaries never means that it makes you die. No, anything lethal sends you to hell. So I will be preparing myself for that. I will be preparing myself to counteract it. It is not going to work, and other people are preparing it for me. They are preparing the defense, because you see, this lethal drug only works if the special symbolism applied by the Vatican works as well, because special people, secret people in the Vatican, have applied a special symbolic power to this drug, so that it will actually cause me to go to hell. Now, I have people working for me, scientists who are catatonic scientists and catatonic priests, who are applying a special symbolism to totally annul that effect. So it has a completely different effect. Yes. So we'll see who wins, and I predict it's me. Yes, in any case, if I do go to hell, I cannot notice it. I have the refuse to notice syndrome, like Jesus had. He refused to notice that he was in hell when he went to hell on the cross. And he continued living for 3,500 years while he theoretically was speeding down the hell tube. He was not noticing it really at all. He had periods in psychiatric hospital because the refusal to notice syndrome isn't perfect. But for the main part, he did not notice he was in hell. And he was eventually saved. It was Saint Peter who had applied the hideous, unsavable notion to him. And that's probably been applied to me, or it's probably written into this drug that I am unsavable if this drug actually has that effect on me and sends me to hell. So I am preparing for that unconsciously and consciously as well. I'm not a coward like you people. I have been to hell. God sent me to hell years ago, and I didn't talk to him for a few months afterwards because it was so hideous. And but it was a lesson so that I knew what it was, and also I knew that I could be saved after 10 internal years. It was only 15 external minutes, but it was 10 internal years. As I have explained in one video, the unhole has infinitely accelerating time inside it. So it only requires a few minutes in external time, and you've passed quite a few months in hell inside it. So that's what I'm preparing for. That's my next challenge. You see, they're trying to get me on before my 50th birthday. and I'm determined to prove that I will get past my 50th birthday. Once I'm over that challenge, then I can see things pretty smooth from then on, really. I mean, I get poisoned frequently, but I'm used to that. I mean, the sort of poisons I get are sort of black magic poisons, and they are tremendous, you know. I mean, it's worse a dish of black magic poison food than a dish of food that actually contains arsenic or strychnine. Arsenic or strychnine don't do anything to me at all. I could drink a whole bottle of strychnine like that, and it would have no effect on me whatsoever. But black magic poison food is very nasty for me, but I've got used to it over the years. You know, I've got used to so many different applications of black magic that by now I know almost all of them, but I don't know this drug, you see. I don't know the black magic that the priests in the Vatican have applied to this drug. That's been prepared for me. This sleeping drug. And I'll have to be prepared to fight against it once it arrives, you see. I suppose the doctor doesn't even know that it's sort of being prepared by the people in the Vatican and all that. He lives in his own little world, you know, where nothing exists, you know, according to my psychiatrist, just the earth and that, and nothing exists except for that. You know, he wants to die and go to hell in ignorance, you see, because it's more dignitous according to him. According to me, it's less dignitous, you know. We, in nature, if nature is ever on the verge of going to hell, all of it, we're all prepared to be hopping in terror. Anyone who isn't hopping in terror will be humiliated. But I mean, they will be humiliating themselves, because to be sitting watching the television and eating chips and a hamburger and then suddenly go to hell is the most humiliating thing imaginable. So it's more dignitous to be hopping in terror, hopping and screaming in terror, than to be sitting in an armchair, drinking Coca-Cola and eating a McDonald's Happy Meal at the moment that you go to hell, suddenly, without having ever known anything about the real world at all, about the real dangers of the world at all. So that's my news for now. I am planning to go beyond my 50th birthday and to continue until the year 2112 and witness all the atrocity that you will be committing and laugh at all your atrocity, you know, because I find it amusing as long as you're being atrocious to one another and not to the animals. Of course you'll be atrocious to the animals as well, but you see, I'll try and not notice that, and I'll focalise my attention on your atrocious massacres between each other, you know, the atrocious starvation that will be going on in the year 2040, 2050, the cannibalism that will start up around 2060, 2070. All these things here will be very interesting for me. And of course I will be living in an institute, so we will be guaranteed food, not pleasant food. As it isn't pleasant now, of course I'm prepared for it to get less pleasant, much less pleasant. And but I will be guaranteed food. you know, poisoned or not. It's all food. And for the psychological side, it's much better eating food, poison or not, than it is to not have food. And you lot will be fighting in the streets for food. The Chinese will be eating at least 40% of the food on the planet. And the Westerners will be without food at all at a certain point. And the population will rise to at least 15 billion by the year 2060. And that is extraordinary. You know, the earth cannot provide food for 15 billion people, and of course there will not be housing for 15 billion people. You do not have the resources to provide housing for 15 billion people. So huge numbers of people will be sleeping on the streets. And I will be watching all this from inside in my institute. The mad person in his institute will be watching you all, and you, the sane people, will all be sort of clubbing each other over the head to steal food from steal food from one another, and you will be behaving in the most hideous fashion. The Third World War may last 50 years, you see, but it's never going to break out into a nuclear holocaust at all. No, it's going to just be a constant massacre that will last 50 or 60 years. And I am prepared to watch all that, and it's going to be interesting. Yes. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say in this video.